Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing a video for you today all about primers. It occurred to me that not everybody wears primers. I have been wearing them for quite a long time now, but there was also a long period where I didn't wear them and it took me quite a while to get onto the bandwagon. But now I'm on it, I'm not getting off because I love them. So I thought I'd do a video for you today about primers and what are they and why are they and what can they do for you and what is going to be a good primer for your skin concerns or your makeup needs, etc. So it's about 8:30 in the evening and I actually am in half of my pyjamas at the moment. I've put this top on over the top to pretend like I'm still fully dressed, but I'm really not. I do actually have my pyjamas on as well. So totally faking it. I got in from work, put my girls to bed, came downstairs, had my tea, watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and then I thought, nope, I'm going to go and do a video. So here I am, 8:30. This time last night I was nodding off, actually falling asleep. But I've got a bit of a burst of energy today, so let's do this. Right, so primers. What are they all about? Primers are an extra product that you can put on your skin in between your moisturiser and your makeup. So it's like a barrier layer. It's that extra layer to stop your makeup from absorbing into the skin, or it's an extra layer to stop your skin affecting your makeup. Okay, so it's like a preparatory layer, but also a barrier layer as well. And they're really, really fantastic in so many ways. So many ways, because there are so many different types of primers on the market that do a whole world of different things. So that can be really confusing. It can really make you feel sometimes like you just don't want to go near them because you don't understand them. But they really are a great thing. And now that I've started using a primer, I've been using a primer now for maybe 3 years. So I feel like I've been using it for a long time, but actually not very long compared to how long they've been around. So I was a little bit of a late starter with primers, but now that I enjoy primers, I have benefited from the difference that they make to my skin and the difference that they make to the lasting power of my makeup and also the overall look of my makeup as well. When I do bridal work, I always without fail use a primer, and I carry a stock of a variety of primers in my makeup kit to suit all of the skin types. Oops, to suit all of the skin types that I could come across with all of the different brides that I work with. Now, when I first started working with primers or using primers, one of the biggest mistakes I made was I just dove straight in there and I picked up the first one that I liked the look of, and I didn't really think about whether it was right for me or what I needed it to do or what I wanted it to do. I just picked one from a brand that I trusted, that I thought I would get on with, and I didn't, and I ended up wasting a bunch of money. So when you get a primer, you need to think about your skin type. You need to think about how your skin behaves and how it also behaves if you wear makeup. So if you're a makeup wearer, how does your skin affect the lasting power of your makeup or how your makeup looks on your skin when you've finished applying it? So for me, for example, I'm a combination skin type, and normally for me, round about lunchtime to mid-afternoon, I will produce an oily shine, mainly sort of down my T-zone. And that's fine, but because I know that my skin does that, that means I can look for a primer that is perhaps mattifying or oil absorbing. Now, normally when you have an oily shine, you're naturally going to have open pores as well. Oh God, they're horrendous. I've actually got quite open pores on my skin. It's quite a textured skin. It's what we call a coarse textured skin. There is no primer out there that is going to fill your pores. End of. They just don't do it. Any primer that claims to fill your pores is probably just going to reduce the appearance of them, but it's not actually going to fill them. So you can refine pores, you can smooth pores, you can blur pores, but you really are not going to get rid of them, so don't be fooled. I like something that's mattifying, I like something that's going to blur my pores, but equally I'm very dehydrated as well, so something that's going to hydrate my skin is also something that is going to appeal to me. Now, there are tons of primers out there, and a lot of people like to treat a primer as if it's an extra opportunity to feed the skin or nourish the skin or give the skin whatever it needs to keep it happy, basically. And in some cases you could use a primer for that, or you could treat your primer as something that is just going to help your makeup to actually sit better, last longer, and look at its best for the full day or however long you like to wear it for. Another thing that primers can do is to smooth the surface of the skin, so they can help improve your texture of your skin. A lot of primers that promise to do that are going to be ones that are silicone based, and when you feel them, their texture is very it's like a dry grease. That's really weird. Yeah, that's right, actually. A dry grease kind of feel. So it's quite slippy slidey, but it looks matte and it feels quite dry. Benefit Professional, that's silicone based, and that's got that sort of dry but greasy feel, or that dry but slippy feel. And that's what I'm talking about. And they're going to be surface perfectors, so texture smoothers. And they're also going to partially fill the pores or help smooth the appearance of the pores. But I've still, to this day, I dream of finding one that is going to fill in my pores, but it's just not going to happen, I don't think, because my pores are like flipping handbags. The ones I'm going to show you today are a range that are nourishing to the skin. They create radiance beneath your makeup, so they're radiance inducing, but also I've got some that claim to smooth the texture of the skin and help imperfections and pores and things like that. So I've got a little selection to show you, and because I'm such a tight ass, I've actually bought them in little tiny sample sizes, like deluxe travel sizes. And that's because I don't like to commit to anything until I know that it's exactly what I'm looking for. But the one I have bought in full size is my absolute favourite. So I'm going to save the best till last. So this is the first primer that I was ever given, and I actually got it in a little gift set, and it's quite empty now because I've used it so much. But this is the Airbrush Away Primer by number 7. Okay, so this is a really tiny sort of travel size, but this is a really, really lovely primer. And what I found when I first started using it was like another moisturiser, and I put it on and it felt just like moisturiser, and I was like, oh, for God's sake, I don't need any more sort of grease or moisture on my skin, because I'm constantly trying to combat that. But here's a little known tip for you. So swatch it on the back of my hand so you can see it's not tinted. It is just a white cream. Yeah, I would call it a cream. So there you go. It's very, very light. It's more lotiony than it is creamy. But you put it in, and when I use this on my face, I don't rub this in until it feels like it's absorbed, because that's not the idea. I literally just smooth it so that I've got an even blend of it all over my skin, and then I sit and I wait and have a little sip of my coffee or whatever I'm doing at the time. But you sit in your way and something magical happens. It goes matte. In the process of going matte, it somehow makes my skin feel smooth. So my skin looks like my pores have shrunk. They're still there. They're always going to be there. I need to get over this. But they have definitely improved in their appearance, and my skin looks matte. Now, I don't know about you, but I really like a matte texture to put my makeup on in, because if I'm trying to blend foundation over the top of something that already feels like an oil slick, I just get really pissed off. I get really irritable with my makeup, and then I chuck on a ton of powder to combat all of the greasiness, and I end up just feeling really caked and stiff and just yucky. But this is amazing. Now, I don't know if you can see, if I just roll my hand around in the light, there is absolutely no sheen there whatsoever, because I've given it a few seconds and it has just mattified. So by that sort of mid-afternoon, lunchtime oil shine production stage of the day, I find that actually this really, really helps me out and keeps that oily shine at bay. So that is the Airbrush Away primer by number 7. Now, I will put the price of a full-size version of this in the description box below, so if you're interested you can obviously check it out. And I love it. I get on really, really well with that. But then I started thinking, I've got to fill in these babies on my face. I've got to get some polyfiller going and fill them in, because I just hate my pores. So I started looking at other ranges, other brands that do primers, and one of the brands that stuck out to me for having a great choice of primers is Smashbox. So I was checking out their stand, and the one that I settled on was this Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and this is the pore minimizing one. This you can buy for a £5, which I was on the stand, and you've got like the full size one for 28 quid. You've got the next size down for like 12.50, I think it is. And then I picked up the 12.50 one, and as I was walking, I found this little baby for a fiver. It's actually, no, it's not better value in terms of how much you pay per mil of product. It's not better value, but I'd much rather pay a fiver for a primer. It's really difficult to say. I'd much rather pay a fiver for a primer in case I don't like it. Now this primer is really good for mattifying and smoothing the texture of the skin. I get on with it really well, so I'm going to swatch it on the back of my hands just so you can see. Now this squishes out. It's a little bit farty, this one. It makes a lot of noise as it's going. But you can see this is slightly tinted. This is a lovely thick texture, so it's a real sort of pasty kind of texture, and as you smooth it in, it is very, very matte. If I roll my hand around in the light, you can see there's absolutely no sheen to that whatsoever. Now I have really enjoyed this. I really get on very, very well with this, but can you see on, no you can't see, oh that's really, yes you can. Can you see that is really annoying? What has happened there is what happens on my face. Now this just bugs me, because otherwise this would be the perfect primer. What it does is if you apply too much of this product, you get this, I want to call it pilling, although that's kind of what happens to jumpers. You get this rolling and peeling and little balls of product that as you're trying to blend it in your skin, you've suddenly got these little balls of product that are kind of like dropping off your cheek. And it's like, oh, get off. It's like all these little bits that are on you and they're falling off. And it's really irritating. But I think I've pinpointed why it happens. And I think it's because I'm applying too thick a layer of the product. So that amount that I just put on the back of my hand is far too much for a little swatch, but I deliberately did that to show you what this does. So I find that when I use it, if I use too much, I know straight away, because I get that irritating sort of peely, droppy, flaky ballness from the product. And it's such a shame, because you really have to concentrate when you put it on. You have to be like, oh, is that too much? You have to really think about what you're doing. So yeah, that's slightly irritating. But if you get it right, if you get the right amount for your skin, if you put the product on with the right amount, then you won't have any problems, and it is mattifying and it does smooth the appearance of your skin texture. So I get on with it fantastically, apart from that application problem. My third primer that I'm going to show you, this is MAC, the Prep and Prime Radiance Primer in yellow, radiant yellow. So again, I'll show you a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm wearing this one today. It's the, oh, I don't know, like the 10th time I've worn it, and I've like got loads left in here. There's nowhere nearly empty. So you can see it's a real yellow product, and this is more of like a loose cream than this one is. Okay, so if we're talking in terms of like slippery creaminess in texture, this is the most slippery, the most moisturising, the most creamy. Then there would be this one, and this is slightly thicker and it mattifies eventually, so this is like the next one along. And then this would be the next in terms of thickness of texture. Okay, so this is the most creamy one for me, and I tend to use this one the least, because with my skin being slightly oilier and just, I don't want to add any more shine or radiance to my skin when it kind of produces its own radiance and shine all by itself, which I'm trying to just hide. This one is probably really good for those days when I'm very dehydrated, and I will put this on to just add something to my moisturiser and really help my skin out and make it feel like it's just got that extra help going on. But it doesn't, I've rubbed it in the back of my hand. You can see in the light there is no shimmer, so the yellow base of the colour doesn't actually translate on the skin after you've absorbed it. So I will say that about it, but it is a really lovely texture. So when you put it on, your skin does feel really nourished and really hydrated. But really what I want my primer to do is smooth the texture of my skin and help to try and hide those pores and mattify as much as possible. So if I'm honest with you, for my skin type, this is a primer that I will go to the least. but there are plenty of people out there that will get on really, really well with this primer. So it certainly has its place. So the last thing I've got to show you is my ultimate favourite, and I am yet to find something that tops this one. And the reason I love it so much is because it's got a whole bunch of shiz going on. It is the Age Smart Skin Perfect Primer by Dermalogica. Okay, this is not cheap. So this is a real treat for me, but because it does what it says on the tin and because it just smooths the texture of my skin so beautifully, and it has an SPF 13 in it, a broad spectrum SPF in it as well, and it's part of the Age Smart range, which means it has ingredients that are going to assist your skin from premature aging and signs of aging and things like that. I just love it. Now this is slightly tinted, so it's fantastic if you just want to wear it on its own. Oh look, it's coming out all by itself. Slightly tinted. Oh no, don't waste it. Put the lid back on quick. So if you want to wear this just on its own, it does give that slight evenness to the pigmentation on your skin, which is really, really nice. Now this is such a smooth texture, and it is that thick kind of paste feel, so when you put it on it does smooth the texture of your skin. It perfects the appearance of your skin as well, so I find that it really does help to sort of reduce the fine lines around my eyes, my little laughter creases. I really need to stop smiling because it's just not helping. And it really does help to sort of give that mattified base before I put my makeup on, which I love. I feel like when I use this I can put loads and loads of sort of hydration serum and then my moisturiser and then my SPF, and then if I put this on as well I find that it mattifies my skin and I still feel like my skin's had all that hydration because I'm very often dehydrated, but then it mattifies me as well, so it controls my shine, which is just fantastic. And some days I just wear the primer. When I'm having a really good day, I will just wear the primer and I might powder set around the T-zone, and that's it. That's all I wear. So the fact that this is slightly tinted, it really gives you that little bit of confidence with your skin, so you can actually just wear it on its own sometimes. So I absolutely love this. I really hope this video has been helpful for you because it's taking you through a variety of primers that do a variety of different jobs, and hopefully I've summarised what you can expect from a primer. Now obviously there's other primers out there. There are HD ready primers. You can get primers that are going to moisturise the skin in addition, so if you've got a really dry skin type you can get a primer that's going to do that for you. There is such a range out there for you, from drugstore sort of price up to high end, and it's up to you where you pitch yourself at. Hopefully you'll find something that you get on with as well as I have. So there it is. That's my pick. That's my top pick of all the primers that are going to suit if you're dehydrated or if you have an oily production during the day and you want to mattify your skin, or if you want to perfect the texture of your skin with things like open pores and fine lines and stuff. So I hope you found that helpful. If you haven't already, click subscribe below and you'll be sure to get all the videos that I do in the future. Thanks for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you next time.